A single share of a company is worth whatever the last person paid for it. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Think about that. The price on the screen is not the value of the company. It is just the most recent agreement between two strangers. One willing to sell, one willing to buy. That is all a price ever is. An agreement, frozen for an instant, then replaced by the next one. And here is the part nobody tells you. That agreement is far more fragile than it looks. A crash is not a giant force smashing the market from outside. There is no hand reaching down to wipe out the wealth. A crash is something much stranger. It is millions of people all at once trying to sell the same thing and discovering that almost nobody wants to buy it. Let me show you how that happens. On a normal day, the market is a quiet conversation. For every person selling, there is roughly someone buying. The price drifts up and down in small steps because buyers and sellers more or less agree on what things are worth. The whole thing rests on a hidden assumption that when you decide to sell, a buyer will be there. Most of the time, this is true, so you never think about it. But the buyer is not guaranteed. The buyer is a choice, and choices can vanish. Now watch what happens when something frightens people. A bad number, a failing bank, a rumor that spreads faster than anyone can check. A few holders decide to sell. To sell, they have to find a buyer, and buyers will only step in at a price they find tempting. So, to get out quickly, the sellers accept a little less. The price ticks down, and here is the trap. That falling price is itself a piece of information. Other people see it drop, and a falling price does not whisper reassurance. It whispers a warning. So they sell too, which pushes the price down further, which frightens more people, which makes them sell. You have just met the loop. Selling causes the price to fall. The falling price causes more selling. The more selling causes a steeper fall. It feeds on itself. The fear is now manufacturing more fear. This is what people mean when they say panic, not a mood, a mechanism. And it gets worse because of who is forced to act. Some people did not buy with their own money. They borrowed to buy more, a practice as old as markets themselves. When the price falls far enough, their lender demands the money back immediately. To find it, they must sell. Not because they want to, because they have no choice. So the very people who most want to wait are forced to sell into the falling price. More selling, lower price. The loop tightens another notch. And the buyers, the ones who are supposed to catch the falling market, they simply step back. Why catch a thing that is still dropping? Better to wait and buy it cheaper tomorrow. So at the exact moment the market needs buyers most, they disappear. The agreement that held the price together has come undone. Everyone is trying to sell, and the buyers have all walked away. That is a crash, not money destroyed, an agreement abandoned. This has happened again and again. 1929. 1987, when prices fell over 20% in a single day. 2008, different decades, different triggers, the same loop every time. Now here is your part in it. You feel the pull yourself, even if you have never bought a share. When everyone around you is selling something, leaving a stock, a queue, a sinking ship, the instinct is not to think. It is to follow, because being the last one holding feels like the worst possible place to be. That instinct is not stupid. It kept your ancestors alive. When the herd runs, you run, and you ask questions later. But in a market, that same instinct is the loop. You are not just caught in the panic. You are the panic. Every seller in a crash is sure they are escaping the stampede. None of them can see that they are the stampede. The price was never solid. It was a handshake between strangers, repeated millions of times a second, held up by nothing but the belief that the next person would shake too. A crash is simply the moment everyone lets go at once. Now you know.